adventure! Welcome to the book quest. And today is July 2nd, and I like to create a monthly wrap-up for June. I've read 6 books, and this is my first wrap-up ever, so I'm still working on the way I would be making these videos, but let's try out. In June I've read 6 books. I have my Fable wrap-up here, and so we will start with the first one. Well, actually, I guess before we start, I'd like to talk a little bit about my book journal. So I bought this, I think, in the end of the last year, hoping that when I start reading this year, so when I joined the 52 Book Challenge Club, that I would actually be writing my reviews here. It looks so pretty, pink, flowery, everything I like. And then when I open it, it looks quite nice. I have January, February, so I saw what I was reading, what was happening. I could actually track March, and that's when I stop. And the thing is that I stop with writing down the titles that I've read. I stopped even earlier with my reviews, so I don't really have concept at the moment, of my thoughts, so I think I have to really think about it, or perhaps start writing in my journal again, so these reviews would be easier to track. But yes, A Court of Wings and Ruin was the last review I wrote, so I guess the only reviews I have here are of the Akatar series, and not even series, but just like the 3 books that were done there, or that I've read. Right, it was back in back in January. Wow. So anyway, if you are having a reading journal, I hope it's going better than mine, because this is not exactly the progress I thought I would have with it, and now I have to do a lot of catching up. But let's get back to the books. So I read 6 books in June, and we had The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. It's Not Hysteria but Dr. Karen Tong. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I'm not really sure if I pronounced the names correctly. Sorry about that. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. And Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson. And I'm actually quite happy to start making wrap-up videos with this list of books, because I thought to do one video back in the beginning of June with my May reading list, and May has been a really rough month. I had a little bit of reading slump there, which I talked about in my previous videos, and I feel like that video would have been full with me just complaining about things. But this list, I actually can't say I can complain. I really enjoyed all 6 books. It was a fun adventure, and I don't think any of these books, I didn't rate them yet, but I don't think any of them actually got less than 4 from me, which is actually quite odd, because I think every month I would find a book that's like a 3 or maybe a 1, something to complain about. But The God of the Woods was quite interesting. It was not something that I expected. I really liked the writing. And I don't want to tell any spoilers in this video in case you want to read the books, so no spoilers. But I enjoyed the writing. To be honest, the characters in the book were a bit of a journey, I guess, or I was on the journey with them, and sometimes it was quite irritating or annoying, but overall I really liked the story. and enjoyed the characters' arcs. Actually, all of the characters. I enjoyed everything about it. So, that was The God of the Woods. Next, that time I got drunk and saved the demon. And, well, even from the name you can see it's actually quite a fun book. I giggled many times when I was reading it. And I guess it was everything I expected and more. I didn't expect it to have such a fun story. So I think I was really pleasantly surprised by how fun it was to just get into the world, even though if the writing was not exactly amazing at many points, I think it was a really fun read, and I would recommend these books to get out of a reading slump if you are into, well, shifter romance. Next, we have It's Not Hysteria. So every month I'm trying to include some non-fiction books in my reading list, and that's why It's Not Hysteria is included. And I wanted to read about it because I actually didn't know about the book or the author, and apparently this author is quite popular on TikTok. I found out about it only when I started reading the book and researching more about the author. But I really enjoyed the book, and I think it gave a lot of knowledge that was not there. I guess that's basically not or available online, but you have to really dig into it. This book, I guess, showed how, in a way, little research we have, but still, whatever research we have is quite nicely put in the book. Next was The Wedding People. And about this book, I gotta say, one of the best reads this year for me, but I'm happy that with this book I read the reviews before, and someone put a review that you should read the trigger warnings, and I think you should, because the triggers can be quite rough, and especially the things this book deals with. I really didn't know what would it be, and I'm happy that I read the triggers beforehand, so I was ready and understanding that perhaps this wouldn't be for me. But interesting enough, I really enjoyed it. It was quite a journey. I enjoyed all the story arcs, and I don't know, I really liked everyone in this book. It was interesting to read about, I guess, being human, and how sometimes, life perhaps doesn't pan out the way you thought it would, but it still can have interesting things, even if it's not something that you planned. So, yeah, this book was a 5-star read for me. Next, Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. Alright, first book by T. Kingfisher I read was in April, Nettle and Bone, and I absolutely loved it. It's again one of the best books I've read this year. I actually feel like I think the list of books, the best books I read this year, is getting quite big, but I really love T. Kingfisher's writing, and Thornhedge was such a wonderful short story. It wasn't long, but I really loved the adventure that we were on, or I was on, when I was reading it, and the character development, and just the backstory, and just the writing, like itself, the world, and it felt really, even though the things that were happening there might have been, well, of course it's rough, but it felt like a really interesting take on a fairy tale, and Thornhedge is actually a take on a Sleeping Beauty retelling. And next, it's Everyone on this Train is a Suspect, and I absolutely loved that book as well. The first book, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, I read back in February, and again, I wasn't sure what to expect. and boy, that book was a joyous ride. Even though it was dealing with quite rough things, I guess a lot of these books do, but the writing style and the humor, it really got me. I was laughing. This second book, I wouldn't say it was as good as the first one. It was definitely a step down, but it still was really entertaining. I really wanted to know the ending, and even when things are figured out, it's just, I really like the writing and breaking the fourth wall. So that book is breaking the fourth wall. So I really like that kind of writing in a mystery, and I think that's what perhaps saved this book for me, that our author of the book is talking to us, and for example making jokes that, yeah, I understand that second book is not as good as the first one. It's almost always the case, and how, writing it might feel and all that. So it was quite interesting. I would suggest reading the trigger warnings as well, because things could be rough or, well, triggering. But overall, I really enjoyed the humor of Everyone on this Train is a Suspect. So that was my June wrap-up. 6 books, and now for this month I hope to read 6 books as well. And at the moment I am reading That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted, Love Potion at a Werewolf. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some inspiration to read the books if you haven't yet. And I'll see you next time.